It's April 20th. This is the second installment, WSO, and then an installment on GNN. Wayne Steiger's taking a break. Basically looking at the near-Earth objects today. They updated their site. The new NEO Earth Close Approaches website has been updated, and I'll just give you a quick look at what happened here. They updated it to be this kind of more, I don't know what you call it, open format, but you can actually now do a really good data analytics on this. And so what I did was I put together the data set from, and I've been wanting to do this, from 2016, 2017, and prior to 2017 in terms of near-Earth objects that were discovered. And what we find is that near-Earth objects discovered prior to 2016 that have been in our purview in the NEO program only represent 6% of the total Earth objects. And the near-Earth objects that were discovered in 2016 and 2017 represent 94%. It's about 633 objects that were discovered in this period of time. The average lunar distances are getting closer. So if you look at the overall average to 2016, 2017, it was at 7.95. If you look at the average lunar distance in 2016, it was 8.08, and average lunar distance in 2017, 7.73. Now, to let you know, what I mean by a lunar distance, guys, is that is the distance, one lunar distance is the distance between the moon and the Earth. Okay, it's about 228,000 miles, something like that. And so basically if I have 7 distances, that's like 7 distances away from the Earth. So you look at that and you go, well, that doesn't look too close, right? It's the problem is that this graph is starting to take on the following shape. Let me blow your mind a little bit. This in itself probably isn't too disturbing. It could just be a data anomaly because we don't have enough long-term data. But this is the one that you can look at and go, oh my God, right? The number of newly discovered Earth-threatening objects or near-Earth objects has increased year after year, and these are newly discovered, by the way. 87 in Q2 2016, Q3 2016, which is coming into the fall, summer, 116. Q4 2016, 217. I mean, this is a debris field, guys. This is clearly us going into a very crowded section of space for whatever reason, and this is basically the proof of it. And it's this remarkable increase over the last year is the reason why WSO feels like this is a special report, heads-up report. The last thing I'm going to show you, and again, I'm sorry for this to be all numbers and number crunching and everything like that, but it's important to point this out. The average lunar distance of newly discovered objects has been slowly decreasing. So in other words, it almost feels like we're coming closer and closer into a debris field. And the most disturbing statistics, only 13 samples since Q2 2017, just where we are about right now, just into April here, the average distance has gone down to 5.61. So again, the math does not look good for near-Earth objects here in the near future. Hopefully the trend will change. Hi everybody, it's Steve Wilson. It's May 2nd, WSO, checking it out. Thanks again for everybody that's been supporting WSO Live, keeping the truth movement alive, and we are getting ready to launch some stuff that you are not going to believe on WSO Live. We actually set this thing up to be an alternate truth weapon, and you guys will be excited to see what's coming. So anyway, today we're going to talk about the hole with an orb in it. The reason I want to do that is because this morning on the ISS, check out what we caught. Here's the orb right here. It's not a lens flare because it stays stationary as this artificial sun goes up, partially blocking it. See, it's behind that halo part. And then as the sun leaves, you can actually see that the orb stays, okay? And let's zoom in on that thing real quick and just look at it really close. This is everywhere, guys, and right now it's disturbing to me because it reminds me of what Daniel showed us back in the day, back in November, when he was showing us the pictures of what he claimed to be was one of the stars or the brown dwarf that was approaching us, and it had a hole in it. And the reason why this is bothering me is because it's like the same thing. Oh my God, right? So anyway, here's that hole with, and again, this what's unique about this particular passage of pictures here is it stays. What's that? That green stuff? You ever see that? Anyway, it just stays in one place. It's not a lens flare, right? This to me is the best ISS photographs of this whole orb that I've ever seen, and I just wanted to thank the subscriber that sent it. And I don't say names usually unless they ask me to, but that is, look at that. Oh, that is just amazing. Let's take a little closer look at it. I'm going to show you some other pictures I captured that corroborate this in a second. Look at that. And how it just changes colors and everything. Unbelievable, right? Crazy. Isn't that great? This is an excellent contribution. And the reason why we don't get these all the time, you guys, is because you got to monitor ISS 24/7 to catch this stuff, because they don't, it's very difficult to catch these things unless you do it live. Now, the next thing I wanted to show you guys was this. This is a picture from a handheld device that was in line with yesterday as well. And you can see, again, there's that orb with a hole in it. It's not as clear, okay? And I'm sorry for jumping all around. It's not as clear as the one that we saw in the ISS objects because we're looking at it through the atmosphere, but there it is, right? There it is. And then a little shout out to my friend Lisa from Canada. She's been helping us with some photo analysis. And in some of the pictures from Alaska, she was actually able to isolate the lensing system with this technique that she's using. And what do we see in the middle? What do we see as the issue? An orb with a hole in it. You know what I mean? So I'm just a little, like I said, I've been seeing this enough now, and I'm going to show you from Impossible Channel some of the stuff he just saw that further underscores what we're seeing here in terms of the orb with a hole in it. Okay? So let's take a look at that. Here's a sequence from April 30th from the That Is Impossible channel. Please go subscribe. We don't agree on everything, but I really like this channel. I like the way that they present information, and I really like the guy that drives it. So anyway, he caught on the ISS or in photography also the same orb a couple days ago. So I just wanted to show that it's corroborated. Now, what happens here when we start to see like multiple orbs when it cuts out? And I'll show you here in just a second what I mean by that. And see how this kind of comes out and you have all these different little circles, right? What's really happening there, that's part of the lensing system that they're using, is to distort what is up there. And that's why this clear shot, that we got from, the ISS is so unusual. Usually it's all distorted. We can't see it. Now, let's take another look at that Saturn picture from yesterday, or from 2 days ago, and look at that. So now I'm going back to some photographs that we received from a subscriber that were pictures of Saturn and a shadow of an orb with a hole on it. Or it's in front of Saturn, one or the other. But right now we're thinking that it's a shadow. So that's pretty interesting, isn't it? And just another corroborating piece of evidence about orbs with, holes in them and stuff. Now, back last year, this was back, I don't know, November, December, maybe even earlier. I went through and I took all the pictures of the orb with the hole in it that I had captured from various places. Let's just go back and do a history lesson and check them out together, okay? Here's the orb with the hole in it from the, core system. Here's Project Storm. That is the original photograph that we saw of the object back during when they were looking at it from far away. This is from Mark in Australia when he was doing his experiments with his telescope. Here's one from 2/14/16, and we've been seeing this all over the place. The funny thing about this thing is how fast it moves around. I don't understand that at all. Here's the orb with a hole in it, also with some history. Like this, there's apparently some history where they've seen the orb before, and apparently there's a dude sitting on it. Here's one that we got. This is the Mark Reed stuff that he did, and it's gone viral since then. But Mark and I, we're friends, and I love Mark. Hey, Mark, how you doing, buddy? Here's a refraction of the orb with a hole in it. Okay, and then we've got, and then it goes on to show other stuff. And if you want to go back and look at the video that we did for this, I'm going to finish you off with a few orb shots that we've had over the last year. Some faint, some very, very, very clear. That was from Ron Huslow. This one was from, this was from Mark II. And then this one came off the stereo, and this is the one I want to stop on. So anyway, at the end of the day, this is what got us shut down, this picture right here, last December when we got shut down. So anyway, just to finish off on that note, we are sharing information that's getting very close to the truth. It's not very much longer before they're going to start to really restrict social media. They already have defunded it, and that's why we're doing WSO Live, and we're bringing people in right now as we speak. We're going to make this an underground. And I just wanted to thank you one last time, everybody, for all your help and all of your input. And just God bless you all. And I hope you have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you for watching.